Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be doing I'll be doing my episode review for the latest episode of The Walking Dead, which premiered last night on AMC. I missed it last night. I just watched it right now. Whew, talk about suspense and tension. It was almost like watching an Alfred Hitchcock movie. Before I keep talking too much and I try to get too analytical, please be warned that there will be big spoilers in this video regarding the most recent episode of Walking Dead. If you're not caught up on Walking Dead, if you haven't seen this episode or the previous ones, do not keep watching or listening to this video, as I will be revealing a lot as usual. So you have been warned. That being said, there may not have been a whole lot of big, exciting zombie sequences or or any shocking character deaths or anything like that. But we came awfully close, very, very close. Negan, if he wanted to, could have killed anybody without anybody else interfering. And from the promos of this episode, like the little promo clips we got, they made it seem like he was going to kill somebody, because we saw the bloodied Lucille, and we saw the devastated look on Rick's face, but that was just him looking defeated. Apparently nobody died, but it came awfully close. And I think it was the feeling of closeness to death for any of our characters is what made this episode so good and so suspenseful. And again, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, wow. That was that was something else. Yeah, that was a hell of a performance. Chilling, a bit humorous, but at the same time, I still kind of hate you. Not you, Mr. Morgan, just Negan, the character. But damn, he's doing a great job. Everybody did a great job. And this episode is basically showing us what life is going to be like for our characters, for this community living under the thumb of the Saviors. And watching this episode, I realized something, and I may have mentioned this before in previous videos, but the fact that the Saviors rely on fear and intimidation in order to make other survivors gather supplies for them and stuff like that, it's an interesting setup. It's, deplorable, of course, but also, bottom line, the Saviors are kind of lazy. Not kind of lazy, they're really lazy. If they're making people go out there and gather supplies for them, I mean, that's pretty fucking lazy if you think about it. I mean, I'm sure they go on their own little scouting missions and supply runs, but probably hardly ever, because they rely on so many other communities to do it for them. So, it's I just thought, boy, the Saviors are actually a bunch of lazy bullies, really. Well, how lazy they actually are remains to be seen. But I just thought it was an interesting thought. It was an interesting thought I had, of just the realization that the Saviors are actually pretty lazy, but not as lazy as we may think. This episode was really good because it showed us it reminded us we could still feel the aftermath and the devastating effects, the rippling effects of both Glenn and Abraham's deaths from the premiere episode. Obviously, the people of Alexandria know what the new living scenario is. They know who Negan and the Saviors are. And, you can just see it on the looks on their faces, their body language. Everybody just looked angry, scared, terrified, defeated, broken, and it was just the perfect atmosphere for Negan, who obviously lives off of other people's fear of him, and he gets a big satisfaction out of scaring other people and basically humiliating them in multiple different ways. So this episode basically showed us just what kind of influence Negan really has over other people, both his minions and his victims as well. But, and what sucks now is that our characters are going to have to work extra hard to reclaim everything they lost, because they took all of their guns. They almost killed Olivia because they thought the group was hiding some, which they were. Thanks a lot, Spencer. But, now they got to get a bunch of new weapons. And, at least they kept their food for him. Negan was smart enough to realize, I need you to keep your food because I need you to be strong to keep getting more stuff for me. But I want you to thank me for it. And, he thrives off of just bullying and terrorizing other people. Like, he insisted that Rick thanked him for leaving the food for them. And, he had that great line towards the end of the episode about, I just slid my dick down your throat and you thanked me for it. It's like, God, what a prick! Oh, man. And you could see throughout the episode, just how devastated Rick really is from this new living situation, as are all of the people of Alexandria. And, Rick and Spencer getting at each other, exchanging a few heated words here and there. That was just, I think, two very, very terrified, saddened people who are, whose emotions are probably very unbalanced right now. They're just two very, very scared people, and they're taking it out on each other. That's why Spencer mouthed off about Glenn and Abraham. Rick was tempted to turn around and probably sock him in the mouth like anybody probably would have, but he restrained himself. And then something else I liked about this episode was, before I talk about that, I want to talk about Rick's big, I guess I was reading about it, a lot of people are shocked at Rick's big revelation or confession that he knows that he is not the father of Judith. I mean, to be fair, there's no way of actually knowing because obviously we can't do DNA testing. Perhaps it's just some kind of paternal instinct he has or something, but, he's accepted her for that. And I guess the point of this story to Michonne was I had to accept something in order for Judith to survive, in order for me to survive. And I could see the point he was trying to make. I just had trouble figuring out how he knew he wasn't Judith's father. But I don't know. I think the as shocking as that might have been to some people, I didn't feel like it was that shocking or revealing necessarily. But I definitely got his point about, we need to accept certain things in order to survive. And you can tell that a lot of these characters, especially Carl and Michonne, who so desperately want to fight back, are slowly starting to accept it. Now, another thing I liked about this episode, liked and disliked, is that they took all of the mattresses and the bedding from Alexandria, and then Michonne sees this big smoke coming from the road. She goes to investigate, and at first glance, you can't even tell what the hell it is. Some smoldering pile of something. It's not bodies, it's not people, it's not walkers. It's some kind of bulky material. And then as the camera, it doesn't make it as, zooms in, or fades out, I should say, it's revealed that, son of a bitch, the Saviors burned all of the mattresses and the bedding from Alexandria. They didn't, you thought, oh, well, they're taking it because they want mattresses to sleep on. No, they took it all because Negan probably instructed his people to put them all in a pile and burn them just to spite Alexandria, just to say, fuck you, Alexandria, fuck you, Rick, fuck everybody there, you're ours now, you're our bitches, you do as we say. It was like a giant middle finger to Alexandria. And that's why Michonne was so devastated. It's like, they didn't even take our beds for the purpose of wanting to sleep on them. They took him just to destroy him, to rub it in our face. And I think that's going to make it a hell of a lot harder for her to accept their new living situation. As good as this episode was, it was a kind of a downer almost, because you hated seeing our characters subjected to such horrible, tormenting bullies. I sincerely hope they're planning some kind of bounce or comeback from this eventually. I mean, they can't leave it they can't leave it in the show in such a dreary mood or a vibe. Otherwise, people aren't going to watch something that makes them feel sad or bad for their characters. Or who knows? It's hard to say. Enjoyable episode. Really liked it. I hope you guys liked it too. Did you have a favorite part or a moment during the episode? Did you even like this episode? please feel free to sound off down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one. Also, check out my Facebook page in the description down below. I think you'll like what you see. The Walking Dead premieres every Sunday night on AMC with new episodes. Check your local listings for times and when that airs. Have a great rest of the night, everybody. Thanks again for stopping by, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.